What's going on, you guys? It's your boy 3 Stacks in this thing, baby, representing Team Kings of Games. Today I'm going to be showcasing you guys some another duel with SHADDOLLs. This actually happened to be a 60-card matchup between me and my opponent. He's on MERMAILs, and I'm on pure SHADDOLLs. I'm not even going to waste too much time. Let's just go ahead and get right into this. I think he won the dice roll, which is like really huge for him. You know, just because of how good Glacier is in this tech, can typically put up multiple Omni negates. So I'm just going to pause and then talk about starting hands just for a little bit. My hand is good if I was going first, but because so many decks, not so many specific decks would just hard counter this entire hand. If I lose the dice roll against this and other combo decks, it can be very difficult for me. His hand is actually pretty nice. He does have like Swap Frog, he has Dean. He's actually on MERMAILs. He's not just throwing a water engine in his deck and calling it water. He's like playing the actual MERMAIL deck, which I love doing. I'd rather play MERMAILs. I know some people wouldn't. They just want to play like this Halky Fiber Turbo dot deck with Aradon. Nothing's wrong with it, but it really does take away from like the fun aspect of this deck, because this deck can do so much more cool things outside of just summon calamities and hand loop for 2. And actually, as a matter of fact, I think my opponent just hand looped me for 2 and then put up 2 Omni negates. So his hand is good, my hand's good. We both have no hand traps, so this is pretty dice roll oriented. Although he might have a better chance against me than I would have against him. And he does have Minstrel plus Dragoons, which is like a crazy 2-card combo. So start. And that also lets him like pick one of my dolls that he can banish, so that when he Glaciers me, you know, it's not going to be as detrimental to him. Because he could give me some pluses if he hits Hedgehog and Windy off the Glacier. So he's going to Minstrel, he looks at Hedgehog, banishes it, he searches Diva. And I just told him just play Solitary, because, you know, like my whole hand. And I just left for a minute, I think it went in the kitchen. And he's just going to basically full combo me. He grabs Megalo, which I'm glad that he's playing that. And then he's going to Megalo. He discards, what did he discard? Dragoon and something else. Dragoon and Dean. It really sucks that he drew the Moulin, because I think if that was a different water, he could have potentially put up a totally awesome in addition, because he put up like Drageye and Dragoon, which was like really, really cool. Not like this Dragoon, but like, you know, Dragoon of the Red Eyes. And if he had one more water, he could have just, oh no, he already used his normal. Because like you would just use Swap Frog to send the Ronin Toad in, but the problem is you still need to dump another frog. Oh, so never mind. He wasn't going to be able to put up Toad unless he just like changed his line of play and sacrificed one negate for the other. So I think probably it would have been better to go for Totally Awesome plus Dragoon, because Totally Awesome is a follow-up, but Drageye is not a follow-up. It's just a spell or trap negate. But I don't think it was anything wrong with what he did, though. So Lapis, that's getting added, so it's going to get special summon. I'm going to fast forward a little bit. And like he can do whatever he wants because he knows my hand. I shuffled before, because like he looked at my hand, but it was in the same order from when he looked at it. So I shuffled before he started discarding. And he hit like the worst, not the worst cards, but Mathman and Polly were like the cards I didn't want him to hit. And then out of all the dolls he could have hit, he hit the Falco. So that kind of really sucked for me. But truth be told, it actually was beneficial that it was Falco still, because that helped me out a lot. You guys are going to see. So he's just going to go full combo. This is a totally different combo that he's doing from what other people do when they play water. Because like he's playing actual MERMAILs where other people just play like water. So his inning board, so I think that's his go-to combo. He's going to get consistent hand loop for 2. Plus also having 2 Omni negates of his choice. This is not an Omni negate, but it could have been an Omni negate if he wanted it to be. Because also I'm pretty sure, yeah, he has a Link Engraved, so he could have made Borreload Savage. I think he just liked Drageye better, and he knows my hand. He knows that this is going to work really good against this deck. So it could have been Savage plus Dragoon. But either way, these negates work really fine against my deck, because the cards you want to negate are the fusion spells anyways. These both work. So I'm going to start my turn up with Polly. He's obviously going to negate that because I get too much advantage. When you play SHADDOLLs and you resolve fusion spells, you get way too much advantage. And that's just how it is. You chain block, and then the negates start to like diminish in value, where after they use a negate after you resolve the fusion spell and chain block so many times, it becomes like less as impactful, if they should have just like negated the fusion spell in the first place. So like it's always correct to negate fusion spells when you play against dolls. So I just discarded Sheep, so I got really nice with my top deck of one of my 3 Sheeps. He did not negate that, pretty smart, so he's going to wait for me to activate Polly, so that way he could use Dragoon to negate that, so he could get his attack boost for Dragoon. Because if he negates Sheep, he won't get the boost. So I'm gonna activate Poly next. He's gonna negate that with Dragoon. So I've already played through his 2 negates, and then I'm gonna make a really awkward play, but it works. I normally don't get a chance to do this that much, but I'm gonna flip summon Falco, and I'm gonna normal summon Hedgehog, and I'm gonna go. Basically, this is huge. So right here, this is gonna showcase how powerful Shaddoll can be when you just summon Construct. So I put up the Link 2 construct to use its effect to summon my construct using Windy as a material, which is like super impactful. And this being a Link 2 that comes back from the grave helps me to link climb into cards like Appaloosa, Access Code, Selene, etc. So this is huge. Like I baited the 2 negates and now I'm getting ready to go like almost full combo. And like all I have to do is just break his board at this point. That's not going to be too hard. I can beat over the Dragoon with my Access Code. And he doesn't have any more hand traps, so I get to just play like, I mean not hand traps, he has no more interruptions, so I get to just like play solitaire. So I'm going to speed through this for a little bit. I fuse in the construct, I chain block still, and so I send Shaddoll fusion instead of incarnation. I know some people probably would have went incarnation with Ariel. I'm going to do this a little later, so I decided to send Shaddoll fusion, so that way press play. I can just basically grab my Shaddoll fusion and get like a bigger push off of that. Because Shaddoll fusion is extremely impactful, like pretty much no matter what format. And as you guys see, I use the Link 2 construct instead of summoning Gravity Controller, because Gravity Controller will slow me down. It'll make it a lot harder to do like anything, and I can't really make Selene plays. So I use the Link 2 construct to get this construct off the field to summon it, and then I use Construct Engrave to target my Shaddoll fusion. And then I'm just going to activate it. And what I sent this time was Hedgehog. And I think I sent Clown, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Hedgehog and Clown. I want to search Command so I have more materials for my El Shaddoll fusion because I'm getting ready to dump that later. I dump Incarnation. I link these two in a cross sheep. Grab Shaddoll fusion back. Incarnation, Resh, target Ariel, bring out Construct. This is just normal Shaddoll plays. Cross sheep is going to go ahead and bring back Mapman. I'm going to go into Selene. I'm going to get 4 spell counters, remove 3, summon Trick Clown, link with her, and Construct in the access code. And then pause, and now I just left the Clown on field. I wanted to get El Shaddoll fusion engraved. That's why I used Construct as a link material for access code instead. That also allowed me to chain block to put Construct as chain link 1 and access code as chain link 2. So access code is like really strong as Shaddolls also whenever you link with your floaters like your fusions, because when they get their effects instead to the grave, and since access code's effect to gain cannot be responded to, you can put him above every other chain link and your opponent won't be able to respond to anything at all until access code resolves. So as you guys can see, I said construct 1 code 2. What that means is there's nothing he can do unless he negated the summon of Talker, which he didn't. So I got like a free value, and I got L to hand, which was like the most important thing that I wanted to do. So the next play I'm going to do, I'm just going to dismantle his board. I was very cautious to take care of the Moulin Glacier first, so that way he could lose his battle phase next turn. So just in case, worst case scenario, I mean, I know I'm in a commanding position and it feels like I should win here, but I still, like, I have a good habit of like playing it safe. Even when I'm confident of my victory, I just try to make sure that I can set myself up to make sure that I can survive. And I normally give myself a follow-up. As you guys are going to see, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get another Resh, so that way I could use Resh again in case it's not like absolutely, in case he's not going to scoop. I pop the Drag-Eye next, and then fast forwarding, I'm going to overlay into Dweller. So again, Dweller is also really huge because I'm just making sure. I feel like I don't have game right here. I'm pretty close, but not close enough. So I decided to make Dweller so that way I can stop his follow-ups because I know Water uses quite a few grave effects. And I made the Dweller with Ariel, so it's at 22. And this way also, this is also a follow-up because when I detach Trick Clown comes right back from my grave. So I gave myself a follow-up plus an interruption and an attack boost, which is like super huge. It's like this right here, this play was really good. And now I have my construct link too. I can do what I want with that, and I have access code. So press play, fast forward. Now I'm just gonna beat over his Dragoon, and I'm gonna use the Dweller to attack the Anaconda for more damage, and I use construct to beat over Launcher, and then I activate L from hand, fusing with my Squamata that I searched off of Hedgehog, and that's gonna give me another huge play because I'm gonna summon a construct and get 2 more mills, which is like extremely impactful. So now on this go, so you guys got to see like Shaddolls literally get hand loop for 2, play through 2 negates, and still bust the board wide open and end on a pretty decent strong board myself, because the plan was go ahead and send Resh Incarnation, and then use Squamata to send SHADDOLL Core to get the Resh back to hand. And truth be told, if I wanted to, I could just link everything off again, like into another link, and I could get Construct Engraved, so I can get El SHADDOLL Fusion back to hand as well. So that really showcased that like SHADDOLLs are not like a dead deck. They don't really suck like people think. I truly believe that a lot of people, just because it's not popular, they think that SHADDOLL is a bad deck. But I think the deck only became popular because of bandwagon players. Because SHADDOLL's got a new structure deck and everybody was so hyped about it, and that's when they thought it was so good, and then people just hopped off of it and got right onto the next bandwagon when like Eldritch and Adamantipator's like made their inception. So like I think this deck is really strong. I really want to say that. I have more duels to show you guys how good this deck is. I think he's going first again. I have literally one hand trap, but because he doesn't have Minstrel and like this is the play he has, this Veiler is like super impactful. So I'm just gonna press play. He does have talents though, so that can trigger because I'm gonna Veiler him. So I thought about it and I was like, wait a minute, you gotta like pay cost first. So like I said, I'm reading because like he declared it, and I was like, okay, cost. And then when he discarded Dragoons, then I thought twice about Veilering him. So what crossed my mind was, okay, so Dragoons can add like Prince or something like that, and this can add Minstrel. So technically speaking, he could use the Minstrel and another water to look at my hand and take my Veiler away. So I was pretty scared of that, but also at the same time, I decided to just risk it for the biscuit, because I was like, worst case scenario, he Mulling Glaciers me and my plus. So I was like, you know what, dude, it's kind of risky. Like, if I Veiler his Abyss Pike, the problem then arises that Separate Chain Dragoons adds Lapis Dragon, and that's a tuner, so he makes Hulk. So it was like, that was a scenario that was more likely to occur if I Veiler now, versus him having extra waters in hand to search a Minstrel and then burn another water plus the Minstrel to look at my hand, take the Veiler, and then find a tuner access after that. And I was it was pretty sweet that I did that play, because it ended up helping me, because I stopped like his whole turn with just one Veiler. So I'm just gonna fast forward. He adds Lapis, and he added this chick right here, Spooky Dogwood. Like, it's so cool that you can search that. I never thought about that. That's definitely spicy. He's gonna go Verde, pay cost, and so here I'm gonna Veiler, and then he's gonna Talents, draw 2, and I'm so curious. It looks like he sided for going second, but still chose to go first. I don't know, because he did lose game 1, so he 100% gets to choose. Maybe he like changed his mind, but this just looks like he decided to go second. Otherwise, he probably main decks these cards, which he still should take him out if he's going first. So like now he has Cyclone and like no interrupts. He has a Kaiju, a Monster Reborn, and a Slumber. So like I'm just gonna play Solitaire, and I start my turn off strong with the Poly. So I try to like use Poly to bait what I can before I activate SHADDOLL Fusion. So press and play. I'm gonna fast forward this one, and I don't actually activate Ariel's effect. And I was pretty cautious also about how many times I summoned. So I used Windy to special summon Beast instead. Then I normal Ariel. I'm just gonna activate Fusion. I'm gonna bust out a window just to keep playing it safe. And I send Dragon to pop the back row. I wasn't sure. And then I just hit for a little bit of damage, kept my window up. I haven't special summoned for my one summon yet. This also like plays around Nibiru, which is like really cool. I linked in a cross sheep. This was like a huge misclick for me, or misplay. I want to just say it's a misplay. Forget a misclick. It's a misplay, because looking back at this duel just happened today, like probably an hour ago or less. Truth be told, I should have just linked Al Capone into Gravity Controller and kept my Aerial up, because like Gravity Controller is just a better body, and cross sheep's not doing anything because I have a window. All this is like a follow-up Celine if it doesn't die. But of course it's going to die. It has 700 attack. So I should have just made Gravity Controller because it's stronger. It's easier to stick it on the field. And then that way I also keep my Aerial. So like when he slumbers me, I can trigger Aerial and Beast. Window's going to get Kaiju. And I can just like banish his waters to keep him down from 5 so he can't like move in. Just because. So that's like something that I would change. But anyways, I'm just going to fast forward here. I grab Beast and then pitch Beast, draw. I drew the Patchwork, and I'm going to Patchwork for Chain. I think moving forward, if I didn't side out SHADDOLL Core, because I did side it out, I'm kind of regretting it. I normally don't. I would have just grabbed Core off Al Capone and then fetched El SHADDOLL Fusion. So if he outs my window, I can still, flip L and then like basically use the Edge and change my hand. Well, no, never mind. That wouldn't be in my hand, but I would still have L. Which is like really important for me because I can still fuse. So that's something that I should have done. I shouldn't have set up the Core. And I think here he's just gonna do me and then slumber me. So I'm just gonna press fast forward. He normals dupe, and then he's gonna slumber. So I grab SHADDOLL Fusion back off of Winda. He slumbers my board, and then I'm just like plussing off of his slumber and his kaiju. His kaiju and his slumber literally gave me 2 cards to hand, which is amazing. And he just gets dupe. To my knowledge, dupe wouldn't miss timing because it's all one effect of slumber. It's not like how Scrap Wyvern works with Scrap Recycler, where you special summon the card from the graveyard, and then if you do, you destroy like something else. It's different. So I let the dupe slide. I thought about it for a second. I was like, maybe it misses timing. But I also didn't want to waste time arguing because I felt like it would. But at the same time, there's a reason behind why it would also still not miss timing because of how Slumber's worded. Like everything all happens at once. It's not like a semicolon or anything like that where like A has to happen for B to happen or anything like that. But I do think the destruction has to happen first. But anyways, so now I'm going to poly using my Nib and my Squamata, and I'm going into Construct. So like when you SHADDOLLs and your opponent is low on resources and you summon a Construct, that's all you do, you just take command of the duel. And not only that, I'm resolving Squamata and Construct. So I'm going to send Hedgehog. I'm going to obviously get Aerial because I sent Resh. No, I get Windy. Oh, because I'm going to get Aerial access after that. I beat over my own Winda and get another plus. I have to activate Construct because she's mandatory. And then I'm going to activate Fusion, and he just scoops. Oh yeah, I said like GG2 too. So yeah, the play here, if he didn't scoop, was just going to be like full combo. You're fusing with Construct and Windy to summon Construct. So Construct's going to grab L, Windy's going to special Aerial. Construct on field can send anything between Schism or like, I think, yeah, Core was out. So I'd probably send Schism at that point, and it would set me up to have access to Resh, L SHADDOLL Fusion, and Schism. And I'll still be able to trigger Aerial off Resh summoning their Construct. So I'm just so far ahead. And I would summon my Construct on draw phase. Because I would have L, so I'd have Winda access. And I would just send Aerial from my deck off the Construct on draw phase to banish the Slumber and like probably the dupe and like the Dragoon. So that way he can't just kaiju my Winda if I Winda him. But that's going to be that duel. I'm going to show another one on a separate video. I'm just going to keep making them, you know, just here and there when it's convenient for me. But that's going to be it for this one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Lord Jesus Christ. Thy kingdom come, and thy will be done on earth, just as it is in heaven. Father, please give us this day our daily bread, Lord, and please forgive us of our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, Father, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the glory, and the power forever. In the mighty name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, I pray. Thank you, Father. Amen. All right, you guys, that's it for this one. Peace.